Well, can you just run me through your Olympic trials marathon experiences real quick?
Yeah.
So first was in 04, is that right?
Yeah. So when I got out of college, I wanted a reason to keep like training hard and stuff. And so right out of college, me and one of my teammates from this marathon used to do a 2-person relay. So you'd each run like half the marathon.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if it was realistic or not. And tried running the trials pace for a half and was just a little under. So figured, all right, might as well shoot for the marathon then. I waited a few years until I was like 24. And my first one was Columbus in 2001. And it was before the window had opened up, but I still wanted to try and hit the time.
Yeah.
And I went through half like right on pace, and then got overzealous between like half and like I saw a friend's dad at 22 and I'm giving him a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then at like 23 and a half, I never experienced anything like it. My quads were just totally wrecked. Like they're just concrete.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing is, like I could talk, like no problem.
Really?
Like so it was like the opposite of a 5K.
Yeah.
And that you could talk, but your legs are just
Muscular.
trash. And so that one I ended up dying.
Oh.
Last few miles, I went 229, and the standard was 222 and 220.
Mm-hmm.
And so that summer, I'd met a guy from this area, and we trained together, or that winter, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We trained together a bit. What if we go to downtown and hit the bike path?
Yeah, let's do it.
He's got another alley he wants to run.
And we did Grandma's marathon, and we ran together for 22, and he dropped me, and what's that? Talking about you. And so I thought I like slowed way down, but I'd only slowed from 5:25s and 6s, and I missed the trials mark by 19 seconds. So I was super bummed.
Yeah.
And I did Chicago that fall, and I missed by 2 minutes. And then I went back to Grandma's the next year, and it was really warm, and I missed by like 3 or 4 minutes again. So then, fast forward, it's fall of 03, and the trials are in February of 04. So it's basically my last chance at Columbus.
Yeah.
And I had to hit under 5:25, and I go through the first 5 miles, 5:30 pace, not feeling good.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And somehow I slowly snapped out of it in my last like 5 miles of 10K. I was just rolling and end up getting under by like 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So last chance to qualify, I got to qualify. I did it. So I failed like 3 or 4 times before
Yeah.
it worked out. And that was in the trials were in Birmingham, Alabama. And they treated us like gold.
Oh yeah.
Like everybody, they treated really well. Like the lead athlete coordinator was awesome. And my goal was to try and get top 50. And I ended up 51st. But I was like, go figure.
Yeah.
But one guy named Eddie Hollebeck, like 6 months after, got popped for drugs.
Oh,
So,
so you got moved up?
so I got moved up.
No way.
Yeah. So
That's
then,
incredible.
after all that, I wanted to go back and the trials for 08 were actually in 07 in New York City. And they did them the day before New York City Marathon. And I
Oh, wow.
tried qualifying the very first chance at Twin Cities Marathon, and
Oh,
I think it
yeah.
was 2005, like late fall, and it was a warm, super humid day, and it didn't go well.
Oh.
It was my worst marathon. I walked jog like the last like 10K.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go hit up on this alley again if you don't
Right?
mind.
Yeah.
Just didn't go well. So then, two guys that used to run for me alone had moved to Youngstown where I was living,
Mhm.
and I started training with them, and we were all gonna do Chicago Marathon. And training was going really well. And then, about a month before the race, I got some kind of lower leg injury, and I couldn't do it with them. And one guy qualified, and the other just missed. And I was super bummed I didn't get to do it with them. And I bounced back pretty quick and did Houston Marathon that January. It was January 07,
Mhm.
and the trials were November 07. And they had pace groups trying to hit the trial standard. One at 220 and one at 222.
Yeah.
And that was one of the roughest marathons to train for, because like 3-4 weeks out is when you want to do your biggest training,
Right.
and that was like Christmas time.
Oh.
So it kind of sucked, like going home and
Yeah.
just like Christmas Day. I think I did like a 2+ hour run, you know. It was just,
Oh,
just
gosh.
wasn't ideal, but
No.
anyway, the race went really well. We got lucky. The day before the race, it was like 70 degrees, and the day after the race, they had an ice storm. And like the day of the race, we hit like that perfect window.
Wow.
And I ran with the 222 group most of the way, and then at the end, like my first one, I felt really good and was really motivated, and took off. And there was actually one point where I caught the guy who was pacing the 220 group. He cut off the jog in, and he paced me for a couple miles,
Oh,
and I
nice.
ended up like 2:20:20 or something like that. So
Wow.
I got to qualify for the one in New York City, and that was super cool because we started at Times Square.
No way.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if you've seen like where the ice arena is,
Yeah.
but we were staged down underneath the ice arena, like by the ice arena, and should be. Okay. You know where the bathrooms are?
Yeah.
But that was super cool because we ran from Times Square like a little over 2 miles to Central Park, and did like 4 loops of Central Park. But what a lot of people don't realize, Central Park is like
Yeah. It's
very
it is,
undulating.
Right.
Yeah, try to get this up here. But I don't know. I don't know if you wanted like how the races were or how the training was, or
Yeah. Well, that 2007 trials then.
Yeah.
How did you end up doing?
so. I'm gonna pee up here real quick.
Okay. Yeah. You're good.
Still feeling it.
super relevant for all of our manufacturing facilities because they're really dangerous. But they want all of our us corporate people to get engaged. It's like, how do you do that?
So my
So they sort of
goal head over to the others.
Yep.
ways to get engaged.
So my goal for
So we get to
the New York trials was
and every day they just
Um,
cookie that.
try and improve
Like, I mean, I'll eat,
on my placing from the one
but you're
in 04. And then the number one goal I really wanted to do was break 220. And one of the guys I worked with at the time told me he'd buy me a big steak if I did as well.
Okay.
And it was good. Like, it was awesome because there were so many packs of people to run with, and it was like a cross country type race, and that like we kept doing loops, and all these people were there to cheer us on and everything. Like, he kept running by everybody, and I felt really good and kept moving up the whole way. Morning. And probably started the last loop around like 20, 21 miles. I started feeling it and stopped like passing people and just more maintaining.
Yeah.
And then my last like, I don't know, 2 miles, I remember like being like lightheaded, like like it was just like
Yeah.
like I'm just hanging on, and there's a lady that was from by Youngstown where I was living. She was out cheering like a mile ago. And she was just screaming at me, and I'm trying to like be good.
Hold it together.
Yeah, and luckily I did, and ended up 2:19:47. So I was jacked,
Yeah.
and
Get your steak.
yeah, I got done, and I was
Oh.
toast.
Yeah.
And looking back on it now, it was probably a nutrition thing. Like, I probably should have taken more, like during, than I did. But what was really odd was, have you ever heard about the Ryan Shea thing?
No.
So there's a guy named Ryan Shea. He's ran for Notre Dame. He was a NCAA champion in the 10K, and 1 year US champion in the marathon. He died in that race.
Oh, jeez.
He fell around, I think it was like mile 5, and we're getting on the bus afterwards, and the one guy was like, "Did you hear about Shea?" And the other guy was like, "No, what happened?" Like, "Oh, he fell at like mile 4, and they think he hit his head, and they had to call an ambulance." And
Yeah.
which race thing?
the trials in 07. And then,
Is that from New York?
yeah, New York City.
Yeah.
And we went up to the room to shower, and they were having a lunch and like celebrate everything. And we get on the bus to go to the luncheon, and people's faces are just like blank. You know, and this is supposed to be like
Yeah.
everybody like celebrating the trials and being done.
Yeah.
And that's when like word started
Something's
hitting
wrong.
that he had passed away.
Wow.
He had a
Cardi-
heart condition.
cardiac
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so like it was really weird because the guy who won, Ryan Hall at the time,
Yeah.
he was friends with him,
Oh,
and
it's terrible.
He passed away because of the heart condition or because of the head injury?
left him and right.
You know?
The heart condition.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually hit his head. I think that's just what people thought at first.
Well, yeah, you're a healthy runner.
Yeah.
And you're seriously hurt. That's what.
Yeah. So it was bad. Like they're, you know, presenting these guys who are going to the Olympics and trained for all these years for this, and like the president of Roadrunners is like crying, and
Oh,
it was really bittersweet.
yeah.
But the coolest thing was like going to the start from our hotel. We were on a charter bus, and we're getting a police escort through New York City.
Oh, wow.
Like, so we're taking this charter bus from the hotel to Times Square,
Yeah.
and there's all these police cars like guiding us and everything else. So that was,
So they treat you pretty well out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Birmingham one, they treated us so much better than New York City. Like, just because
Totally.
it was like the only thing happening. Whereas like New York City, it was just another event. The next day
Yeah,
was the
and then next
marathon.
day was the marathon, right?
Yeah.
Matt, what year was Birmingham?
Oh, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Houston was 12, right?
Yeah, Houston was 12. Yep. The two weird things with New York City was, one, I know it's petty, but we never got a finisher's medal.
What?
Like every other marathon I've
kidding?
done, even the
Yeah.
04 trials. And then we had to pay an entry fee. Like, I forget what it was, like $100 or something.
Only run like him most of the time.
Yeah, no.
His coach would kill you.
You had to pay an entry fee to get into the trials?
Yeah. It was super
Come
weird.
on.
The other thing that was weird was when I did the Houston Marathon to qualify, one of my friends did the half and then have like a, what they call a hospitality suite. They rent like a room that like elite athletes, we can just go in there and get like any food or Gatorade.
Yeah.
There's a couch in there, you can just hang out. Well, my buddy started talking to the guy from New York Roadrunners Club. This is 07, the same year as the trials. And the guy had invited him to do the US 8K championships, which was in March in New York City. And the guy was paying for everything, like the fly there, hotel, everything else.
No way.
So my buddy told me and his other friend, and we emailed the race director, and they let us in as well. And the funniest thing was, we're in the cab going from the airport to the hotel, and the person in the cab's giving us all the directions, and she's like, when you get to the hotel, go to the basement, get your numbers, sign for your per diem, which is like your money
Yeah.
for like meals and stuff, even though they were taking us to 2 of the meals. And
Wow.
we kind of got quiet and looked at each
Yeah.
other, and then we looked at the lady and we're like, I'm sorry, we're not like top level, like we probably, that's probably not us. And she flips open this paper, she's like, nope, you guys are on the list.
Wow.
Like, what?
Like a
So what's
picture
weird is they flew us to there, I think just because we did the trials in March,
Yeah.
to do the 8K and pay for our hotel, our flights, our meals. But then when the trials came around, because we didn't have the A standard, we had to pay for everything ourselves. It was just like, what? Like, this is
Yeah.
so weird. Like,
It's so bizarre.
The year you did New York, wasn't the women's race in Boston?
yeah, they didn't.
Oh,
They
really?
didn't start running them together, I think, until 12. Yeah, that was kind of
Strange.
Yeah.
Now they can't find one team.
yeah, let alone 2 different.
Well, they announced the standard, so
Yeah.
I suppose that means we're going to have a race.
Yeah.
Which is
Is
awesome.
it 216?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll get you there. You
Yeah.
keep running with us.
Yeah.
Put in the work.
Sure. You still don't follow our pre-warm-up routine.
Yeah, no Taco Bell.
Get out of the car and run.
Don't ask Ryan what we drink on Saturday nights. So, Matt, when you did the New York or the race in 22, did you have like trials flashbacks?
Oh,
Is it a
yeah,
different course?
yeah.
It's a different course.
Yeah.
What's funny, I was telling Anthony, before the race, they staged us in the basement of Rockefeller Center by the ice rink.
Yeah.
And after the race, me and the family went there to go ice skating. And yeah, I started having all the flashbacks being staged in there, which is like 18 years earlier or whatever. So it's funny because they announced the standard being 216, and like I said, when I did it, the B was 222, and I'm like, oh man, we were soft. But in all honesty, in like 04,
Yeah.
I think we had just over 100 guys do the race. So it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like there was that many more people. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Well, and honestly, because they got rid of the B standard, right?
Yeah,
So what was the A standard?
220.
So let's split the difference, 221.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
5 minutes in a world of biocarbon super shoes.
Right.
Like, you know, that's,
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
actually thought more when you have no-namers running LA and 207.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And there was no half standard like now you can run like,
Yeah,
or like 103 or something.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan, that's what you got on Saturday, right?
103.
Right about.
Switch the 0 and the 3 around.
So I tried. I don't know, like I wasn't fully vested, but I tried a little bit for 12, which was 219, and I ran Chicago, and it was a little warm, and I was on pace for a little over 16, and couldn't hold it. And then the Columbus that fall, I ran my exact same PR again, 219.47, like to the second.
Same to the second.
So I missed.
Oh.
I missed that time by like 47 seconds.
Yeah, but you won
But
Columbus, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So consolidation prize.
yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Which
Columbus.
was funny because after going to trials, I'd never won a marathon. And I
Really?
wanted that more than anything, honestly.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna call it here, guys.
All right.
Thank you for letting me join you.
Yeah, man,
Appreciate
nice
it.
knowing you.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you.